You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Shit. This week and more as we
break the ring down.
Woo! You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
You just made the list.
This right here is a family.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening
to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Break it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't. These headphones suck. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the most inappropriate Corona wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Wiping Down the Ring. We are your sanitized ring crew.
Oh, man. It's hot in here. Is it just me? Nick. Sick Nick.
And me, the all sneezy one, Mikey himself.
You might want to maybe turn it up a little bit. Can you turn yourself up a little?
You can. All right.
I can, maybe.
It was weird. Hey, whoa, I'm moving. Everything's off right now. Corona is affecting everything.
Wipe the ring down.
Like, really bad. Okay, so, okay. I'm just making sure I'm not messing with this, because usually it's this board.
It's the Triumph.
You hear the
There you go.
A little bit better.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it is.
I sound wonderful.
God, I just got a boner.
Again?
I
thought I took care of that before we went on air.
It's the third time since I got here, the 13th time since I left this morning. See what the coronavirus can do to your wiener.
Look, man, this fucking shit is crazy. I have some OJ, not Simpson. Man, do I wish that was the real O.J. Simpson that burned fucking EC3 earlier in the week on the tweeters. Look, man, here's the fucking deal. Everything's fucking canceled. Unless you're WWE. Then you're just moving everything to the Performance Center. Now, granted, AEW still has their Dynamite coming up this week. They moved it to Jacksonville, where they said that they're going to have a very restricted audience. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Mm-hmm.
I know here in Michigan, the governor mandated no gatherings more than 250 people. We were slick with that last night.
Oh, shit.
I'll talk about that for sure. And so WWE was supposed to be here in Detroit for SmackDown on Friday. That was moved to the Performance Center with possibly the greatest combo ever in professional wrestling broadcasters of Michael Cole and Triple H.
Yes.
Then Triple H was a cameraman at one point. It was great. Everything was spec-fucking-tacular about it, man. And
he needs to be a regular.
I would love to see him more often. You know, I mean, look, will he be? No. It's amazing. He goes, I'm the only guy to get demoted, and I got more responsibility. Look. It's a weird fucking time in the world right now, right? So our job is to discuss what we think might happen with certain things, how we're feeling with the cancellation of things that we were hoping to be a part of, and obviously the big one right now is WrestleMania. And we're going to get into that and talk about that in a little bit. But right now, what I want to get into, Nick, is obviously there's a huge shift going on in this country right now. And people are flipping out over COVID-19. COVID-19.
Break it down.
COVID-19. Come on, Eileen.
Wash your hands.
COVID-19.
Sanitize.
COVID-19.
Clorox wipes.
COVID-19. Bitch. Wipe your ass. Look. Don't spit. Spitters are quitters.
Ooh.
Good job.
Swallow.
Hey-o. That's my favorite bird.
It's going to be one of those type of shows.
Look, so it hit us home here in Michigan with WWE SmackDown. For the wrestling front, let's just be very honest. We're only talking the fucking the wrestling. Did my mic go again?
No, you're good.
I can't.
Fuck it.
The wrestling front. WWE SmackDown was moved Thursday night. They made the announcement.
Yeah.
Let's really try and wait this out. And then it's really funny is I think they had a heads up from the governor. Because Thursday night at 11, our governor went on and did a fucking interview, blah, 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 press conference. There it is. And she said that all schools for kindergarten through 12th grade will be suspended until WrestleMania. The day after WrestleMania, the kids can go back. Basically, she loves wrestling, and she wanted kids to get into that and be able to fully delve into their WWE network.
She had an Austin 316 shirt
right.
on
She knows what's coming.
Uh-huh.
And no, obviously it's just a month for the kids off. But the next morning also came out that in this mandate of all the kids not going to school until April 5th, or if they have spring break that week of April 6th, till they're off for spring break, that gatherings of more than 250 people mandated not to happen. Now, that means that our Detroit Pistons would have still been fine to play because no more than 250 people ever show up for their games.
Yeah.
Same for the Red Wings. I think Little Caesars Arena would have been safe for Red Wings and Pistons games, but those got cut because of, COVID-19. And so I'm pretty sure maybe WWE got a heads up about that. I could see that. It's a huge fucking entity for the city of Detroit. I could totally see them saying, so what's your government doing? Because, look, my family owns a bar in downtown Detroit, one of the biggest ones for St. Patrick's Day. It's a nice Irish pub. And we were getting updates from the mayor's office about things that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can only imagine that WWE definitely had somebody in talks with someone in the governor's office, mayor's office, something. So WWE pulls their show, and they said, we're going to do it at the Performance Center. They have not yet done anything about WrestleMania. But again, it took till Thursday fucking night for them to say, okay, we're not doing SmackDown in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then we got the show that we did. The Performance Center, Triple H, Michael Cole, kicking it off with Bayley and Sasha coming to the ring. I loved the way they placated, like there were fans there. It was great. There was... Even when, Triple H made the mention of Asuka, who interrupted the match, he goes, I didn't see her. She must have came out of the crowd with all through the people. You're like, Triple H, you're funny. So then they showed the Elimination Chamber tag title match, which Miz and Morrison retained, and then it went to a Miz TV segment where Miz and Morrison played amazing. It was spectacular. Boo me if you think we're not the greatest tag team. Oh, no boos. Like, boo me if you think Morrison's movie is not going to be a cinematic masterpiece. Oh, no boos. Just great placating into it. The Roman Reigns sit-down interview with Michael Cole, because you had to make it a sit-down interview.
Yeah.
Every one of them had to be a sit-down interview. Otherwise, you're not talking to anyone but the TV camera, right? John Cena, stand-up, sit-down interview with Michael Cole, to which Bray Wyatt then came out. I want to say, to me, what I noticed the most about the SmackDown, I don't think a single fucking thing was scripted. I think they were given bullet points, if that.
Yeah.
Because Roman came off well.
Uh-huh.
Right? Cena was normal. Always good. Bray's promo. Oh,
Fire.
Wonderful. Yeah. How did you feel about this no audience SmackDown, sir?
It was eerie. We really haven't seen anything with the likes of that since Rock and Mankind.
And then Lawler and...
Oh, yeah.
yeah. But, yeah, you said since, so...
Yeah, so... I didn't really know what to expect. Like, were we going to get a full show? Were we going to get just the same SmackDown we would have saw in Detroit, just in a smaller venue with nobody there? And I definitely don't think it was.
Oh, hell no.
But it was still entertaining. I think they got a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people on Twitter. Not everybody, whatever. But it was definitely a good watch still. I think they made the right call with throwing the Elimination Chamber match in the middle so that they didn't have to completely fill 2 hours of an empty, arena. I thought Triple H and Michael Cole together was great. Triple H cracked a couple of jokes that I don't think Michael Cole was expecting, and it kind of threw him off, and that was good. It was very entertaining. I'm interested to see what they do from here for sure.
So, the next episode of WWE television is supposed to be Monday Night Raw from Pittsburgh on 3/16 day. Now, the crazy thing is they've been advertising Austin to come back for 3/16 day in Pittsburgh, and this whole thing is changing what's going on. It's not going to be. It probably won't be in Pittsburgh. I don't know if they've done an announcement yet for it.
I'm pretty sure they did. I think I saw. I don't remember what the source was, but that they did confirm it's going to be from the Performance Center.
So Austin's coming back to the Performance Center. I get. It sounds like I'm shitting all over it, but I'm not. That's just what it is right now. It's Austin's coming back to the Performance Center because that's what they're doing. Like, you can't stop it, you can't knock it, but
it won't have the same impact as it would have if he came back to an arena full of people freaking the fuck out. Mm-hmm. I think people will still be excited to see it. I honestly, they might see an increase in ratings regardless of whether or not Austin's there because people want to see what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely from the Performance Center. Just confirming what you said. This is a weird time right now, right? This coronavirus is attacking sports like we've never seen anything attacked. It shut down a country, right? I'm not trying to be part of this mass hysteria media because do I think it's what's being, touted? No. I think it is a much more contagious and severe form of the flu. And the reason it's so bad is because it's not anything that we know. Mm-hmm. So regardless of your shots, regardless of any person's immune system, you haven't built up the antibodies to fight it properly, in a way. Now, again, they said that 80% of people that catch this are going to get a mild, something. You're probably going to feel it for a couple days, and you'll be fine, but you can still spread it for like 14 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that's what everyone's done. I mean, if you've heard, there's the cases of people dying, sure, but they're, older people with bad respiratory systems and so on and so forth. But I'm not trying to get into the science of this because I don't fucking understand it. I don't get the science because I don't know science. Mm-hmm. I know some science. I know that the earth is flat.
It sure is. It's flat as fuck.
Flatter than my stomach. That's for goddamn sure. No. Bitch. Round and round.
That bitch goes round.
Right. It's not a fucking... We're not... Could you imagine if it was flat, though? Like, do you think we'd be spinning like a penny?
Like when you flick it?
Yeah. That's our rotate. That's funny. Okay, so back to all of the wrestling things because there's all right. Raw Performance Center, Austin. Do you think that they're gonna do something like they? Because again, we've stated that it was all.
Right back.
Oh, I don't know what he's bringing in, but it's gonna be good. Is Austin gonna do?
Corona?
I really hope. Is Austin gonna do a sit-down interview?
I don't. Oh man.
Think about it. Austin does a podcast, right?
Yeah.
To where he sits down and he talks into a microphone. I don't know anyone else that does a podcast, right? So Austin sits down, does a podcast to where he talks to them, people, without a camera. This is great. It's red and yellow. Red and green? Red and green?
Merry
I
Christmas.
can't see the shot cups. I don't think he'll... I think he kind of might have to. I don't know, man. How are you feeling about this, Roddy? Are you excited about it?
To a point, yeah, because I'm one of those people that I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Especially with the advertisement of Stone Cold coming back, and I think you still bring him in because, like, the element of surprise with Triple H and Michael Cole, I think you talk to him and have him be as big of a part of it as Triple H was. Throw him on commentary. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's just my take on it. But, yeah, I think he'll still be there. Sit-down interview, yeah, I think it's definitely possible because, like you said, he's podcast man. So, yeah.
Z, how are you feeling about Raw?
It's going to be the same thing as SmackDown, right? Performance Center?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see what they do. I don't want to see a sit-down interview with Stone Cold. Strictly, I mean, if he's got a match at Mania, sure. But now we're just talking to Stone Cold to talk to Stone Cold. We've seen that 100 times past 10 years. Wouldn't it be bad to see him on commentary? That would be interesting to see what he has to say about the group of talent, like, throughout the night. But as far as a sit-down interview, they're going to ask him the same questions they've been asking him.
Mm-hmm,
like,
that's true.
Who's your favorite performer nowadays? Who, you know what I mean? Like the same. He has his own podcast. Everybody that is part of the wrestling community has listened to it once or twice. So any question they ask, we kind of already know the answer to.
Those podcasts anymore.
I don't know. Fuck podcasts. I don't know. Fucking losers.
Fuck them all.
You know what I mean, though? Like, he does interviews with people. He also does interviews himself. And he's going to get asked a lot of the same questions. Is there really a question you can ask Stone Cold that we don't know the answer to that would surprise you?
Yes.
What's that? What would
Are you
that
coming
be?
back to the ring? Goddamn right I am.
Well, but
That's it.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's like, if that's what this sit-down interview, if that's what they do, leads to, then okay. But if not, then it's going to be, you know, which wrestler would you want to wrestle today, even though we know it's not going to fucking happen, you know, kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a nice teaser. Also, maybe they don't bring him back because the whole reason to bring him back is crowd reaction, and now you don't have a crowd.
Yeah, but it's still 316 day.
I get that. But again, you're bringing him back for the pop, and there's going to be no pop.
Right.
Like, you know, so now what? So I mean, it's interesting to see if when he comes back, or if he comes back, what the scheme will be around it, I guess. All right, so would you guys like to partake in some drinks?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. That was easy. Where's Smitty?
Smitty's not here.
Well, no way. You don't say.
I know.
No way.
Jose. No. Jose.
Nice.
No, he said he might not make it, so I didn't expect him to come.
Okay.
Hey.
Someone asked, Juan Marino asked, do you think Stone Cold will have a run-in with Rollins and the company and become special ref for Mania?
What up, Juan?
That would be an interesting angle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of having Stone Cold come in and cut a promo, have Stone Cold get involved with the Owens story because he's doing the stunner.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And then that would be something cool for the Mania that might not happen.
Yeah. All right. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite, and then we're going to go into the possibility of all the WrestleMania stuff. So AEW Dynamite is moving from wherever they were going to be at. I don't remember now off the top of my head. To Jacksonville. And Jacksonville with a very limited audience.
What, like
Very
like the practice or
audience.
the practice facility for the Jaguars or something?
I don't know. I do not know.
Maybe nobody.
Sorry. So Cody Rhodes was hit by a fan. Say, Cody, is it really necessary to continue with the storylines without the crowd? The crowd, the energy, the environment is what makes AEW the best right now. I'm really worried. I was dying for the exalted revelation to come, but not now. Cody responded, a lot of folks are sitting at home, some scared, all bored. Just like a real community, leaders have come forward. Entertainment leaders have to follow suit safely. People need to laugh, cry, forget, love, all the good stuff. My personal opinion, we shouldn't hold back.
I totally agree with them.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are working from home and are scared to leave their house, so they need something. He's not wrong there. And AEW was doing storylines without crowd before AEW was actually a company. Things like being the elite and all that. So I mean, they were building storylines without ever really having wrestling matches up until Double or Nothing. So really, this is just par for the course.
Right. Nick?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. What Z said.
Honestly, yeah. And I don't. If they go through Jacksonville and wherever and do this shit in front of an empty crowd, I'm all for it. Keep this shit going. You know what I mean? Like, if the NBA and the NHL, with the amount of talent that they have as compared to a company like WWE, AEW, want to cancel their season, do whatever, you got to do what you got to do. But, these companies like this, if they can put on a show in Jacksonville, if they can put on a show at the Performance Center to give something people to talk about other than this mass hysteria, do it.
It is kind of interesting to be like, well, who's going to put on the better empty arena show? you know what I mean? Like, it is an interesting concept. Like, all right, so NXT was a limited crowd, right? There were people in the stand.
1,000 people.
Okay, so then SmackDown was completely empty. Raw is going to be completely empty. AEW is limited, maybe completely empty. Who knows by Wednesday what it'll be? But it will be interesting to see, like, all right, which company or which brand is going to put on the best empty arena show? Because that says a lot about your talent.
I'll agree with that. We were talking about throwing the Elimination Chamber match in there and how it made sense because there was no crowd and things like that. But are you fucking giving us goddamn car bombs?
Yes.
Oh, motherfucker.
And then after the car bomb, I have a different shot with
Did you eat breakfast today?
Yes.
Nick, did you eat breakfast today?
What breakfast?
You're getting us
Cool.
fucked up.
That's sweet.
We're going to have a
after
2-hour
this,
show.
I want to try a new shot with a popular Irish whiskey and a popular energy drink / coffee, which is an Irish blend. So, cheers, guys.
All right.
Fuck off.
We're doing an empty stomach show.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm not the bartender
It's
here.
half and half.
Oh, well, okay.
That's way too much Guinness.
Is it ever too much? Is it ever too much?
You know what I would like to see?
Our lunches? Before we start doing this, I would love to take a lunch in.
I would like to see, and maybe it is a bad idea, but if AEW does this show at Daly's Place and then they took the talent from the back, put them in the crowd, in the empty seats, not all together, put them like sectioned off in random spots here and there, and then like you would see them once in a while, like during a match, and they throw like another screen on the side showing Orange Cassidy and Best Friends chilling there, what they're thinking about the match, or shit like that.
We have said for many, many weeks, months, hell, almost a year now, that NXT has been the most put together show, wrestling wise, top to bottom. But the reason AEW always felt bigger, felt better, was because of their arenas that they're going to and the crowd reactions that they get. Fucking son of a bitch. So this completely can change the landscape. If you have to have... Fuck it, I shouldn't have drank orange juice.
Ooh.
I know, it's like just phlegm building up. If you have to have an empty arena show and you're losing all of that pomp and circumstance that was there.
You're relying solely on talent.
Now it's just the match. Mm-hmm. Because let's be very honest, man, those high spot matches aren't fun with no one to go, holy shit, holy shit.
AEW, right. AEW. Yeah.
You don't have that. You just have you going through a table off a ladder with a Hurricane Rana.
And then crickets.
Like I said, you're basing this off of pure talent now.
And look, I am not trying to say that AEW doesn't have talent, but the reason that they've gotten as much flack as they got was because a lot of people said that there's not enough story-driven matches. Now, granted, I've watched the Young Bucks caught all that flack, and then the drama with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, with that storyline, and they did the tag match in New Japan, and then a lot of people were like, holy shit, the Young Bucks can tell a story in the ring. So it's not like they can't, and it's not like they haven't. Same thing with Mox, but Mox in AEW is way different than Ambrose in WWE. Mox in AEW is literally a shock factor wrestler. If there's no one to shock, where's the factor?
And Dean Ambrose in WWE talks to plants. So
Chris Jericho could have a match with a broom, and it'd be good.
Kenny Omega has literally had a match with a broom.
And it was good.
Yeah.
I really think this Wednesday is going to be a huge indicator of where AEW is, because their force, their driving factor were the undeniable fans that
hardcore
refused,
marks.
Refused to say anything bad about AEW. Right,
which gets annoying too. That they refuse to
I really wish people could fucking
literally like have a happy debate about it.
Like, it's okay to even say something bad about it and still like it.
Right. Yeah. I'll get into something in a second that I had a conversation with on Twitter yesterday. But the AEW fan base is not there Wednesday. Maybe again they say this is literally a quote. It's restricted attendance policy. So I don't know what they're going to do. Right? Are they going to let like 50 to 100 people in? That's still more than the Performance Center, and it's going to feel bigger and better if they have fans.
But 100 fans in a 2,500 person arena?
I don't know.
I know in Michigan they limited it to like 250 people. I don't know what they did in Florida.
I can't wait to tell you guys.
Oh,
what we did with that.
So, I mean, do they whatever? If Florida even set a limit for how many people can be in a, contained space for an event, so they'll probably just hit that number. But the cool part is AEW is an indie show. So 100 people show up. This is an indie show. Just broadcast on live TV.
Right.
So I cannot wait till next week's show when all this happens and we can talk about it then, because I'm really intrigued to see how this plays out.
Right. Yeah, this shit's just starting.
the best wrestling show is going to surface throughout not having a crowd to play off of.
And in watching SmackDown, the women's tag match that kicked it off was a good match.
And the promo that Bayley cut with nobody in the arena, and the one thing, I mean, there was a few things I liked about Triple H being on commentary, but the one thing I did like when they were like, oh yeah, let's do this match right now. Hey, Triple H, make this a match. Like, you actually had a person of authority there to be like, okay, instead of just wrestlers like, oh, I challenge you, let's get a ref out here.
I really do wish they would have a William Regal type GM on Raw and SmackDown. Like, and that's it. Like, he shows up when he needs to show up. There's no, I'm for one side or for another side. There's no, I'm fighting an authority figure.
He doesn't need to be on camera all the time.
Or at the very least, have like Michael Cole or Vic Joseph or whoever's like the head guy at the commentary go into like his little earpiece and be like, all right, I'm getting word from the back that this match is now official.
Well, they do say that.
Well, yeah, but they come back from a commercial break and it doesn't feel like they don't. You hear Michael Cole say it, but if you had the camera pan on him and have him like listening into the earpiece, you know what I mean? That would kind of be a little bit more psychology.
And if there was an actual authority figure to hear it from,
right?
You know,
or just
we're hearing from the gorilla position.
You're doing a more realistic show now, so just have a camera in the back, and even if it's Vince himself with a headset on, like we all know what he does back there, so you just have Vince, the camera pan to Vince in the back and be like, all right, fuck it, let's make this a match. They want to wrestle, let them wrestle.
Oh my God, it's gonna be such good shit.
All right, let's do these before they curdle.
They're not gonna curdle until you combine it.
Oh, all right. Again, not a bartender or a scientist for that matter. Not a chemist.
Zenai, the science guy.
No, not.
Z.
Not the science guy.
There you go.
All right. Corona.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You were right. This is way too much Guinness.
I know.
Again, not a bartender.
All right. Excuse me. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Of what's in your stomach.
Not meat and potatoes.
A little bit of meat, some eggs.
So you did eat breakfast. See?
I had a
4
grande
o'clock in the
burrito from
morning.
Taco Bell,
Oh.
and it wasn't even bigger than my hand. As a matter of fact, Starbucks Grande is bigger than the Grande burrito from Taco Bell.
I didn't even know Starbucks
I got
had
the-
a fucking burrito.
They
So-
don't. It's just the,
Oh,
the
gotcha.
Grande cup.
I've been watching what I eat, and I had that triple chalupa thing from fucking
Did
Taco
you
Bell.
watch yourself in the mirror? Is that what you're talking? I like to watch what I eat.
No. Like I lost some weight, and yesterday I had a fat kid day, like full blown fat kid.
That was my day yesterday, too.
Yep. So I stopped at Taco Bell, and they have this new triple chalupa thing, and I get it, and I was really fucking disappointed. You think triple chalupa, you think this big motherfucker? No, it's like chalupa sliders that you break in half.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, it's the Baja sauce they put on it, fantastic.
Okay.
Like, get a regular chalupa and just ask them to sub the Baja sauce, because the new one, not worth the money.
So I fucking went to this Taco Bell because I've been.
Well, that was dumb, because we know how bad this Taco Bell.
No, but you touted it as it was better.
Yeah, one time I went there and it was better.
I did a couple weeks ago, too, for breakfast, and it was really good.
Fucking Taco Bell changed their breakfast menu. They don't have the sausage flatbread quesadilla anymore.
I've never had Taco Bell breakfast.
Oh man, it used to be so good. Now it's just horrid.
I actually, that's a lie. I've had their honey bun things. Do
Those
they still have
Cinnabon
those?
things?
The Cinnabons?
Whatever, you bite into it.
Those
and it just,
fucking things are magical.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's literally diabetes in a fucking
okay.
4-pack.
Meat and potatoes. Meat and taters. No, they call me tater salad. It's my son, Tater Tot. WrestleMania is April 5th. It's come out now that the government
WrestleMania
of Florida, I'm going to get to this article here on Wrestling. And we use Wrestling Inc. a lot because Wrestling Inc. is great.
Yeah, they're probably one of the more credible.
Yep. Raj Giri wrote this article, and it says, as previously reported, officials in Tampa met earlier this week and discussed the possibility of canceling WrestleMania 36, which is scheduled to take place at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa on Sunday, April 5th. Hillsborough Commissioner Les Miller said that they would not yet make a decision and would reconvene next week if WWE does not act. Miller spoke to media, as seen in the video above, and said that they are probably going to, quote, pull the plug on the show if WWE does not make the call. I'm hoping that Vince McMahon and WrestleMania and WWE make the call themselves, but a week from now, if they've not done that and we're still in the situation we're in, we'll probably have to pull the plug on that, Miller said. As noted, WWE released a statement on Thursday saying they plan to go through with the show. However, they were working on contingency plans should government officials cancel the event. Most of major sports organizations have suspended or postponed their season due to the coronavirus. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister said that he hopes that WWE follows suit. I commend every sports franchise for erring on the side of caution, Chronister said. I hope that WWE follows suit. I don't ever want to see people put profit over public safety. On Friday night's edition of SmackDown, WWE continued to promote WrestleMania 36. However, there was no mention of the date of the event.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that.
So...
No. I swear to God, the first one, it did the thing and it had April 5th. The first promo. Because I thought it was weird that I'm like, okay, with it being in limbo, why are they... It was like almost every commercial break. Oh, WrestleMania.
But they have to. Now... This is funny to me. I don't know, was it Z that you posted the meme that said, I don't know why anyone thinks Vince McMahon is going to cancel WrestleMania 36. They kept a pay-per-view going when a guy died in the middle
fell
of it.
from the fucking ceiling and kept going. Yep. Smitty's the one that posted it on our page, and then I shared it on mine.
Adjust your trim again.
All right, sound guy.
Sorry.
No, it's bad. I don't like
Now I hear it.
Yeah, there you go.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Hear me now?
I don't know why it fucking changed in the first place.
Because we didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and as we stated, it took Vince and WWE 24 hours before SmackDown was supposed to start that they announced they were not doing SmackDown at LCA.
But Vince didn't make that call. They shut down all events at LCA.
They did not shut down everything until the next day. So
okay,
that's what
I think we talked about that because I was thinking maybe
Vince probably, and I was saying to Nick earlier, they probably got a heads up from the government what was going to happen, so then they made the announcement. And it could be very similar to this thing too. But look, man,
Vince is not going to make that call.
No,
Vince is going to force the government to do
Yes,
this.
Yeah.
Vince is going to play the baby face while the government plays the heel. He already knows what's going to happen. He's probably already making plans for it to happen, but this way it makes him look strong and not weak.
But here's the thing.
Wrestling 101.
WrestleMania can't happen. Here's why WrestleMania can't happen. It's not even the fucking coronavirus in Florida. It's not even the government. It's not even the date. It's the fact that the federal government put a travel ban on countries from Europe.
That's why Paige wasn't on SmackDown Friday.
Yesterday, added the United Kingdom and Ireland to that travel ban. Because originally it was just Europe minus the United Kingdom. Now it's basically everyone over there.
Well, I think the statistic was like 70% of it was like in Europe, or it was throughout 70% of Europe. Maybe there was a 70% in there somewhere. So why wouldn't you just ban the United Kingdom as well?
Well, because at the time when they first made the travel ban, the United Kingdom wasn't like getting nailed and railed with coronavirus things. Then Orange is the New Black had a press conference about it, and yeah, that's what I call it.
I don't get it.
Normally
Went
I say
right over my head.
Normally I say Orange is the New Whack. I was just stuck in black.
It's okay.
But
Still don't get it.
Orange
Trump.
Oh, got it.
is the New Whack.
Got it.
There you go.
Understand now.
He had that press conference on Friday, and somebody asked him, they said, hey, you initiated this travel ban, and you said the UK is exempt from it. Since that travel ban, the UK has had 160 more cases of coronavirus confirmed. Is it possible that you're going to add the UK to it? And he said, we're looking at everything right now. Whatever it is, we're gonna update. We'll either we can add countries, we can take them off. We'll figure it out.
He's so good at being.
I know.
he could be like Alex Baldwin. Like, wow. That's good.
So 2 days later, or yesterday, the next day, the United Kingdom and Ireland were added to that. WrestleMania is a worldwide event. Yes, many people at WrestleMania come from the United States and travel from the United States. But travel is fucking impossible right now. There was someone that put out a photo of O'Hare Airport, Chicago, yesterday. People just trying to get off of planes. And how their airport was just flooded with people who couldn't move because they had to go through some tests. So cops were there handing out fucking disinfectant wipes and water.
Jesus.
So it's not even so much that what's the government of Florida going to do? It's not so much that what's WWE going to do. It's WWE touts every fucking WrestleMania. People from 56 different countries are here. You know, well, they can't be now.
Well,
you got people from maybe 3 different countries.
Well, any event that you
Mexico,
see,
Canada, and the U.S.
United States.
any event
Driving distance.
Well, look at the Masters. The Masters has to be an event that a lot of people from all over the world travel to, and that's canceled. You know,
They finally canceled the Masters?
Yep. These events
everything's
like
been canceled
that,
left and right. I really haven't been keeping up with it.
You have to. I mean, if it was just like, okay, here's fucking no way out. You know?
Right.
Could you imagine, though, like an empty arena performance center WrestleMania?
No. I would honestly say...
There's only one pro to that, and that's when Roman wins, nobody boos.
I will say the worst thing they could do is a no-crowd WrestleMania. Like, these Raw and SmackDown, you can get...
What about Saudi Arabia? You know they don't give a fuck. They'll let us come do it.
Then how are they going to get home?
I don't know. Figure it out.
Figure it out, bud.
Empty arena shows for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they're stuck in Saudi.
Yeah,
figure it out.
This is how you get the talent that hasn't been on TV over.
Send everyone to Mania, and then we'll put Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins on Raw. Again.
Main eventing Raw.
Never beat
EC3 can finally get some TV time and tell OJ to go fuck himself.
Ethan Carter, the third one OJ killed.
I like who did that?
That was me.
Oh, that was good.
I just wish it was the real OJ.
I figured it wasn't.
Yeah, that was
but
the only thing. Anyway, so there is a lot of what's up, Bear?
Okay.
What is that? That's not PBR coffee.
it's not.
PBR
better.
coffee's no.
It's better.
PBR hard coffee's
It's
delicious.
the
It is
better.
very
It's
good.
the better non-alcoholic version.
Okay.
I was actually pretty surprised when I tried
Yeah,
that.
PBR hard coffee is like fucking drinking Yoo-hoo. So
delicious.
WrestleMania has all these travel problems. So I guess the real question is, and I'll just do they cancel WrestleMania?
I think we all know the answer to that, and that's yes. Because if it's not,
Okay.
if
Does
it's not,
WWE cancel WrestleMania?
no,
before? Okay.
because Vince holds out, and then he doesn't look like the bad guy. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of looks like the bad guy right now for not canceling it, but at least he can be like, well, I didn't cancel WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
They did. You know what I mean? So debating who's looking at it, like he can at least go to his boardroom and be like, hey, listen, I didn't cancel the show. They did. And until the board of executives, because, I mean, it's no longer a private-owned company, so it's not just Vince making the decisions. There's a whole board that, I mean, I don't know why they didn't just announce it last Thursday.
They know it's going to be fucking canceled.
Well, like all it's doing by extending it from a week is giving them less time to figure out what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? Plus, one other thing. Let's say, devil's advocate, play the other side real quick. Let's say WrestleMania does happen, and let's say it does have fans. Are we even allowed to hold our event?
Yeah.
Well, because
Because it's under 250 people or whatever?
on that floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay.
I mean, that
I said it, I was going to tell everyone what happened. That's what we did at the bar yesterday. Each floor was its own separate venue. If you entered the first floor, you couldn't get to the second floor without leaving the venue and then going in
The side door.
entrance.
Okay.
And if you wanted to get to the third floor, you had to go to the back entrance, which led up the stairs to that.
Oh, so like where you would
By-
go
right
through
by
the tent
parking lot,
and
yeah.
okay.
No, not the tent. Tent was closed. We shut
Oh,
the tent
so
down.
you go through like the back where the
you-
the stock room used to be and go up the stairs.
Yes,
Like where you'd
yeah.
exit from the third. Okay.
Now, you also had to pay a separate cover to get on every fucking floor.
That's
So
smart.
if you
That's
want-
smart.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That makes up for the money you're losing.
Well, not so much that either, but then it is specifically run like 3 separate venues.
Yeah.
And just like 3 separate venues, if you leave one, you can come back in, but you have to stand in line, right?
Makes sense.
But if you bought a wristband for it, like if you bought a wristband from our bar and then you left our bar, normal stuff, and you went to another bar down the street, but then you came back, yes, you're still in line, but you have a wristband, so you don't have to pay cover to get in, and you just slide right in, right? So that's what it was with this. You had to exit the bar, go to the different entrance, and go to that floor. Exit the bar, go to a different entrance, go to that floor. So therefore, technically, we had 3 venues, none of which had a higher than 250 capacity. First floor is like 120.
Yep.
Second floor is like 200. I think the third
It
floor
was
is like
80.
150.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah, because this
Much
is wide
larger
open
space,
space.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So it's
But no tent, right?
but no tent. And the tent we just shut down completely.
Well, it makes
Yeah.
sense because if you're only going to have 250 people
people
in a tent, what's the fucking
Yeah.
matter?
And it sucks, and I feel bad for a lot. Like there are friends that I have that traveled who moved out of state that actually traveled to come back here to work, and now they can't work, and it sucks. But it is what it is, right? Everyone's getting fucked.
Because
to
now
an
you're
extent.
just going to have your full-time employees work like a normal fucking Saturday.
right.
Okay.
So where was I going with this? What were we just talking about?
A WrestleMania. And B-Dubs
Oh, yeah,
holding our
event,
event. Yeah.
B-Dubs. So yes, the second floor of B-Dubs is they can have it so that one door.
Yeah, 'cause it's
like
got
there's the front door, but then there's that other door that's right at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, and it's got a separate liquor license capacity, right? Than the main floor.
No, it's still separate.
It's all
capacity, but
blanketed
you
under
can-
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not blanketed under one. There's the second floor has this many people. This
Yep,
room holds
yep.
this many people. But to make it a different venue, they can block off
The
entrance
stairway,
to the
and
downstairs.
you just
Yeah.
block off the stairway and
people
take
can
the
come in there.
elevator.
So yes, they could. Our event would not be at risk if it's still.
Well, that's assuming
going
people
on.
want to leave the house, though.
But
too.
again, right, this is different rough times for this, right? So Nick, do you think WrestleMania will be canceled? And who do you think, if yes, who do you think is going to be the canceller?
Yes, it's going to be canceled, and it is going to be the city of Tampa. You, as Vince McMahon, he'll put it on, no problem. The whole country fucking shuts down. He'll be like, let's fucking do it. Everybody that's got a ticket flying in, get your ass to the stadium. Let's do it. But no, it's going to be the city, and I feel like, the time span and the date that this is falling on, WrestleMania falling on the 5th, kids in most places, mostly here in Michigan, that is my understanding, go back on the 6th. That's right around
if they
that.
don't change that.
If they don't change that. I mean, you could ideally just fucking, okay, we're going to push it back a week, and I don't know what that entails, what kind of implications that has, but yeah, it'll be canceled, at the very least pushed back.
Cheers.
What is this?
Yep.
Tell me
Jameson and
after.
whatever.
We're all going to try it together.
Yep.
I thought that would be good, and that was good.
Not too shabby.
Smooth.
All right.
Cool. I like that.
Irish Monster and Jameson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think anybody but Vince McMahon will cancel this. And I do think it'll be canceled unless something comes up in the government that, hey, we figured this out. Here's why Vince does the canceling. The WWE is currently under a lot of fire for a lot of the Saudi stuff still. There's still a lot of people. All right, calm down. There's still a lot of people giving them shit about the safety of their roster. Now, granted, it's horse shit because anyone that is in a match in WWE, if you get hurt, Vince covers you. The company covers you. It's just like anything else. It's just like AEW. Like people are saying, oh, AEW offers health insurance. AEW does exactly what fucking Vince does. It might be health insurance to the full-time employees that do other stuff as well, but anyone that wrestles in an AEW ring, if they get hurt, they're covered.
Well,
if you're Chris Jericho,
hold on. To be specific, if they get hurt in an AEW ring, then they're covered under the umbrella of AEW.
Yes.
You know, that's just
let me finish my thought.
Sorry.
So, if you're Darby Allin and you go do an indie show and you get hurt at an indie show, AEW's not, as far as I took all of their contracts, AEW's not covering his medical.
As they shouldn't.
No, yeah, makes sense.
That's like me getting injured today and then
asking my job to take care of me.
Right. Yeah, like workman's comp.
Yeah. It's okay. It's like, so Z, you're an iron worker.
Correct.
You work with all kinds of electrical, right? Well, you like.
I mean, I'm not supposed to, but I do.
Okay.
Kind of
so let's say, so you do that stuff for your job, and then you go home, and you do home improvements, doing similar things that you do at work at home, but you injure yourself at home. Your job's not covering that.
Right.
Workman's comp. It's not workman's comp.
Like,
now you have your own insurance.
For example. All right, if on a random Saturday, I go play basketball at a schoolyard and I roll my ankle and I sprain my ankle or break my ankle, now my job's not going to cover me because I broke my ankle off of work time.
Right.
Now, if I happen to, if I'm, hanging a piece of steel and it slides into the wall and crushes my hand and breaks my hand, now I'm covered on workman's comp, 85%. Well, you know what? There's different things. So if you get injured off the job,
but I was making the same examples of things you do at work that you do at home, right? Like if you're doing something similar that you would like, either way.
You're right. I get it
because that's what it is. Darby Allin does this one thing in AEW, but then he goes and does a GCW show, right?
But
it's the exact same thing. So the AEW stuff isn't covering what he did, even though it's wrestling.
Are you sure about that?
As far as I read all the contracts.
Because I'm just saying because AEW now, I haven't read contracts, but they do allow their performers to do other shows during the week because they don't really do live shows. They do their TV and then their guys go and do their other shows. So at some point, like AEW wants to be different, but this is the reason WWE isn't like, yeah, you can go do those indie shows and then just make sure you're here for TV. Like, no, you can't because if you get injured over there, I'm can't. You right. So, I mean, if this continues to happen, I do see like a change in how AEW like structures their contracts. Unless AEW is like, well, you're gonna kind of like Impact did, like you're gonna go do this indie show. You get 80%, we get 20%, but we'll still cover you if you get injured. Like that's how Impact used to be. Like if you back when Scott first took it over, it was you have to do X amount of indie shows as well as these big shows. That's why like Del Rio was at that what was that, Border City Wrestling at Diamondback Saloon where the ring almost fell apart. Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck is this shit? Well, that's part of your contract, bud.
Yeah. But I don't fucking remember where I was going with this.
Your point is that basically
we went so
covers,
far sideways that with this.
Well, yeah, AEW basically has the same setup as WWE.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember how we got into that. Oh yeah, so Vince is given so much shit about the health and safety of his performers that it makes more sense for Vince to go, look, we've tried to wait this out as long as possible, but it doesn't seem like this situation with the coronavirus is on any sort of upward trend. It seems like everything's still going downward, so we're going to take a step back. We will figure out how to either postpone. I agree that it has to be postponed. You might get Mania in a couple months, right? But at the same time, with a storyline arc that they're doing, that kind of fucks them a little bit too. right?
It is a weirder situation
Yeah,
for pro
but
wrestling than it is.
I truly feel Vince is going to be the one that announces it, and it's probably going to be the government, just like they do with SmackDown. The government will be in talks with him and say, hey, if you don't pull this plug today, tomorrow we're pulling it for you. You can at least get the good PR saying you're the one that canceled
That's
it.
true.
With that being said, do we still get some kind of network special on April 5th? Maybe an empty arena kind of pay-per-view, about 2 hours, to kind of wrap up a couple storylines that you were going with. Like, not even wrap up, maybe just like, slam them into a wall and pick them up whenever you're going to build for Mania again.
I think that depends on when you
And then it also affects the Raw after Mania and the SmackDown after Mania, where people return. You know what I mean?
It affects the takeover that's supposed to happen at NXT. It affects the Hall of Fame that's supposed to happen
I think
on
it's
Friday.
more likely for TakeOver to happen than WrestleMania. Because TakeOver could happen in an empty arena and it still would be a good show.
I mean, we'll see. I think there's a lot of talk about WrestleMania, so people are forgetting all the week's events. The center where
Access was already canceled.
the center where Access was supposed to be had a state coronavirus thing pop up there. Yes, it's
It was
canceled.
5 of them, I believe.
I only
5
saw
or
the
6.
one. You may. I mean, hey, I saw one, and then I worked a 17-hour day.
Okay.
So
I
it may have been
believe
way more.
the final report that came out, there was like 6 cases of where Access was supposed to be
held.
Yeah.
And then you have, like I said, the Hall of Fame. You have
Did you still do that? Or do you wait till
TakeOver?
Wait till
think
Mania is SummerSlam. Mania
here's
/
the thing.
SummerSlam.
The bottom line is the government is going to look at them, and if the government doesn't say we're mandating things to stop until a certain amount, then WWE is going to say it. But if they're saying, hey, like us, 250 people, sorry WWE, you can't even have a show now.
No, you can't.
Yeah, because
It's not even your normal autograph signing.
And it takes, dude, as far as I'm concerned, more than 250 people in a venue, right? That's your staff.
That's
Right.
your
For-
big
yeah.
That's probably
Well,
more than your
hold
staff.
on.
Your staff's more than that.
Because you got the television people, you got the people, the directors. Now, granted, some of them are in the fucking trucks outside, but you still have your cameramen, your ring crew, your refs, your wrestlers, all of that. Your staff is going to take up that 250 people. At least that's what it is
At
in
least the
Michigan.
majority of it.
That's what it
Yeah.
is in Michigan. In fucking Texas, it's like 500 people. In San Diego, I think it was like 1,000. So, again,
Yeah, it varies from
who
state
knows
to
what
state.
Florida might do, right? But it comes down to the fact that if the government is going to say, hey, you can't have Mania, that means you can't have anything else.
Well, I mean, even with the travel ban, though, Vince might just cancel it because he doesn't want it to look empty.
Right. And that's a huge factor on it as well. Because you're going to lose a lot of seats.
But now, what's the date for the pay-per-view after Mania? May something? Or was that Money in the Bank?
Yeah, May something.
So you just move it. All right, Mania's now moved to here. And, is it like the ripple effect? You just move everything back one because you already have the stadium booked.
I was talking to my friend,
Your friends?
other friend, yeah.
No way.
You saw him the other day.
Oh, okay. I know the friend.
He works for a local newspaper. And he stated that the way he's hearing things, and this is, again, this is based off of, like, there was a medical report that came out that said between 70,000 and 1.5 million Americans will die from the coronavirus. The 1.5 million being the holy shit, why isn't anyone getting tested? What the fuck? The worst fuck case scenario.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
like
Yeah, let's
there's
not-
no
I'm
beds left for
speculating.
everybody.
Yeah,
People-
this
okay,
is the
okay.
ventilators are where
Okay,
fuck blah blah
okay.
blah.
This is like if it goes full
Like
this
blown.
movie
is,
shit.
this is the absolute fuck worst case scenario.
Okay.
Just because again you heard the 70,000, you're like, oh, that's a lot. Then you're about to 1.5 million. Again, worst case scenario.
It's still only like 10% of the
Worst.
population.
He's saying speculation is coming out that 70% of Americans will get the coronavirus.
I have a friend at work that has a friend in Ohio that works at a lab for the CDC. and it's according to them,
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to get worse in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then if it goes over a certain number of people, we could end up in martial law. I'm once I heard martial law, I was like, I don't know.
I didn't hear
about
that
all
severe. I did hear though that like from my friend, he was saying that yes, it's supposed to get worse before it gets better. To the point where he believes that the MLB isn't even starting the 2 weeks later that they say they're going to start. And
Well, not if it gets worse in 2 weeks. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. But he feels that we won't see baseball till maybe June.
so half a season.
Yes, and something that like hockey with the strike.
And if we-
so, but
well, if we
now let's
don't-
take that right back to us. If MLB is pushing, if Major League Baseball is pushing the start of its season till June, that means it doesn't matter what the next pay-per-view is for WWE. If every company and government is still saying, "Hey, we're going to take another month before anything happens," okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then WWE's not doing anything, and can they still do the weekly empty arena shows? I have no problem with that. Get some stuff, yeah, because we need entertainment. We're fucking
Yes.
bored sitting at home.
Right.
Maybe they'll cut Raw down to 2 hours. That would be cool.
I mean, if they're adding old pay-per-view matches into it, Raw's only 2 hours. SmackDown was only an hour, really, of live entertainment.
Well, so my mother-in-law texts me and she goes, "I got a question about SmackDown," and I didn't watch it live. I go, "Okay, what do you need to know?" She goes, "So this chamber match, like, how does it work? And if Otis is thrown out, like, is he eliminated? Is his team eliminated?" And I'm like, no. Like, I run down the rules of the chamber match and how it works, and I'm like, but that wasn't on SmackDown. That was last Sunday. So I don't really know what you're watching right now. Then when I watch SmackDown and it's like, oh, we're going to replay the tag match. Okay. Now I understand what she was watching.
It's great that your mother-in-law is watching and you're not even there. She's on her own accord is watching.
Okay.
That shit.
So, Nick, it's to the point where she goes, "Am I allowed to talk to you about SmackDown right now?" Because there's been so many times that she's like, "Oh my God, this person's going nuts. I don't understand." I'm like, "Thanks, Kath. I'm not watching it right now. So thanks for, spoiling that for me." So now she literally like asks, like, "Can I talk to you about this show right now?" "Yeah, ask me any question you want."
That's awesome.
I'm not worried about WWE as an organization. Do I think this will hurt them? Yes.
It's already hurting their stock. It's down 45%.
Time
Oh,
to
it's
buy.
killing me. Oh yeah, no shit. I keep shoveling money into it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm losing money like crazy.
I mean, hey, you can put 1.5 trillion into it, it'll jump up. For
Well, the minute
best-
this
the
is
best
over,
day
it's
in
going back up
software
regardless.
history. Nerd. Sorry. I'm worried about all these other companies. Like, we were talking, we talked about Ring of Honor months ago, right? And we are like, man, it seems like Ring of Honor won't make it past 2020. And that's just from the product, from what they're putting out there, from their attendance, from their shows, from the buy rates of their pay-per-views. Now, if they can't even have things for months, that cuts into their pockets deeply.
The pockets they don't have. They got shallow pockets.
No, they don't really. I mean, they still have a multi-million-dollar company behind them. It's similar to like AOL Time Warner when they bought WCW. Just AOL Time Warner wasn't willing to put all that fuck money into it. And that's the same thing that Ring of Honor seems to be having. But then there's the other indie ones. GCW. They're supposed to have a show later this month.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
But can you even do match styles like that right now? Like airborne illness. So like, can I really be cut open? Like, should I have an open wound?
There's a blood and guts match.
Well, that's what.
AEW. They're still planning on going forward with it.
Okay. Oh no, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though. It's
I
an
get it.
airborne illness.
I understand
so
and that's why I would assume that it really kind of probably depends on the performers. Do the performers feel like they can do it, or they want to do it? They want to risk each other.
I mean, if all
Could you? I mean, think about it. What if all of a sudden a WWE wrestler contracted coronavirus?
quite honestly,
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Think about it, though. Okay, now...
Then you would have to stop everything for 30 days.
But a lot of people tested. Like, for example, Utah Jazz. They had 2 players that tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have it dormant in their system.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you're already... a lot of people are already immune to it. But we don't know which is which or what strain. I mean, it's just like any other strain of the flu. This just happens to be a really, really bad one.
Right. And the only difference is, like we were stated at the beginning of the show, it's a brand new strand, so there's no immunities built up in the human body system. I still feel maybe I had it 3 weeks ago when I was dead for those 3 days.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show. Mikey
Yeah.
was sick as fuck. I had a couple of days where I had body aches. I thought I might have a fever. I had a dry cough. Like,
I was so sick to the point where Michaela's mom came and picked her up because I couldn't dad.
And you don't ever get the flu, right?
Yeah,
Neither do I.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm kind of...
And again, but see, if you're nasally and stuff, it's not it. Because it's dry everything. There's no mucus.
Dry
there's no
cough.
phlegm.
I heard that. But I'm like, I don't normally get the flu.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I've never had a flu shot. I can't
I've
say
never had a flu. Well,
I've never gone in my recent life when I've been an adult. I've never gone and gotten the flu shot. I can't say my
didn't even
mom
get one
never
as a
took me
kid.
to get the flu shot.
Yeah. No, well,
I don't,
back
as far
then,
as I know.
flu shot really wasn't a thing.
Right.
It
So
was,
as far
it was
as I
more
know-
for like elderly people to get that. And they don't even... That doesn't even necessarily prevent you from getting the flu. They just take the strands from the year prior and like, oh, this was popular last year, so we're going to give you this one. But if a new one arises, like the one we have now.
I remember one year there was a flu shot, and then the flu strand was a complete 180 from so everyone still got sick.
Yep.
Again, you don't know. So I'm just more worried about the lower companies in wrestling and what this could do to their smaller pockets if they can't perform these shows, or if someone that they have wrestled, if a major person in wrestling that does do travel a lot, let's say Nick Gage, he's the main guy for GCW, right? And he does a lot of the death matches and everything like that. What if he said, oh, I have COVID-19, if he says he has that, that puts a huge damper on any of the shows that he worked before all of this stuff and GCW.
yeah.
Luckily, though, a lot of the smaller companies are still ran the old way of doing things where employees are 1099. So now you just collect unemployment for those weeks that you don't work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... I mean...
But what does it do for your bottom line? You can't put out shows. It doesn't matter about the employees.
But you're not paying your talent.
Yeah, I understand
my
that.
point.
But
Like
you're
small-
also not getting the income from putting on the shows.
But you don't need the income if you don't have to pay your talent, is my point. Like, I mean, now, I'm assuming that all of these companies are ran by, decent business professionals who have, like, a rainy day fund, a contingency plan. Not all are. Mm-hmm. But if you have to cancel the venue, you don't have to pay for the venue. So that's money you're keeping in your pocket. You don't have to pay your talent. That's money you're keeping in your pocket. Now, you're not generating any new revenue, but
profit.
you also don't have any out-of-pocket costs. So whatever you have in your rainy day fund is still there.
To an extent,
Going forward.
But you're not, like you said, you're not generating profit. No matter what you put on a show, anything that you paid off was a wash.
Anything that's not on TV right now is not making profit, though. I mean, that's just. I mean, if
you're doing, hey, we're going to this week, we're going to this little thing. Next week, we're going to be going to this little thing. Like even like Michigan independent wrestling, like some of them just do it once a month. But if you can't do that, the wash of paying for the venue, paying the talent, here's the profit I get that helps me continue to go and set up for the next one. You're not getting that profit in. Now, sure, you might have a rainy day fund, but if this goes like it's projected by people who haven't, when things haven't been announced, like if this goes, like if MLB doesn't go till June because you can't do things until June, that's no longer I'm missing an event. I'm missing months of events.
But hold on, you just said it yourself that a lot of littler companies only do one show a month, so potentially they could only miss 2 shows.
Or more. That's what I'm saying.
Or more, but I'm saying
so
like
March,
they're not a weekly
show,
so they're not missing 8 shows, they're missing 2 shows.
There's also a bunch of people that blew a lot of money into the Mania weekend stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right? So
now
you're losing
that.
That's your cash cow weekend.
Oh yeah.
So now you're losing that. Then you also can't put up a show in April because this is still going. So you're March and April. Then if it is that worst case scenario, if things can't really start
We're
till
talking
June,
about small. I thought we were talking about small.
We are. That's what we are. So
Oh, you're talking about all the indie shows that go WrestleMania week. Okay, that's your pick.
But no, not even that. You just said it yourself. The monthly ones, and that's what I'm talking about. So you can't do a show in March, even if it wasn't at Mania, wherever.
Okay.
You can't do a show in March. Then you can't do a show. You already can't do a show in April, right?
Okay.
Because of all this talk. And then if it becomes worst case scenario,
May and June.
You can't do a show in May, maybe June. So that's no longer
my point
missing
is
one.
That's
Now you're
4 shows as opposed to 16 shows.
okay, but it's still you only run monthly because you don't have the capital to run more than monthly. You build for that. That's what you try to do. You try to become like a Ring of Honor that started from nothing to become a monthly.
Okay, so
pay-per-view
this becomes a
with weekly-
natural selection kind of thing.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's the problem. Is I feel bad for these companies that are putting out a good product for the fans that are enjoying indie shows.
But the companies putting out the companies putting out a good product right now are going to be fine. Like Major League Wrestling is going to be fine. ROH, they got some financial shit going on, so they might not have been fine even if we didn't have the coronavirus. And this is just a bad circumstance.
You don't know though.
Right,
Because
but
you're still building your brand. Regardless if you're putting on a good show or
True.
not, you're building your brand. And I would hate to see this affect companies that are doing alternative stuff to where every fan enjoys something different. And if this ends up becoming a monopoly, not WWE, the only big,
turns out Vince released the coronavirus to get rid of AEW.
It's all coming together.
No. No?
What do you mean, no?
I mean, no.
I don't understand.
You've eaten breakfast. I haven't.
Okay, I lied. I didn't eat breakfast. We're on an empty stomach show. Remember?
I'm not trying to get
One last
trashed.
one,
I work tonight.
I know.
I'm doing good. I just got pee.
One last one. I'll leave you alone.
Fine.
Okay.
He's not going to leave us alone.
I see what you're saying though, but at the same time, we don't know.
Right,
like you were saying, like you don't know. It could go.
And
one
I'm
way.
thinking worst case. For
promoters could be saving money. Promoters of smaller companies could be saving money by not having to pay. You know who we should bring in for this? Like this guy we used to have on the show, like OC.
Joe?
OC. Like, hey, how does this affect the business right now?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be, if you're listening, buddy, we miss you.
You know what? I'm going to shoot a text to someone. I can't because I don't think the fucking Skype even works on this shit right now.
Although I will say this,
it is.
I bowl Saturday nights, and last night at the bowling alley, it's bowling alley / bar / like event center. Mm-hmm. There was a wrestling show outside on the patio. I didn't stick around to see it because it didn't look very good, but there was one going on. So there are smaller promotions that are still carrying on with events. Granted, it was way under 250 people.
Yeah.
Like maybe 30.
Right. I really don't want to see things go bad for these companies. Period. I don't. They don't deserve it.
I don't, but I'm also thinking like Wrestling 101, when you take something away for a little bit and then you bring it back, it gets a little bit bigger of a pop. Yeah, you either A, get a big pop, or B, you get forgotten about.
Right.
And me personally, I watch a lot of wrestling nowadays that I wouldn't mind a little bit of a break. But I'm just saying, like, how many, like, let's say this coronavirus lasts for 6 months. We going to do 6 months of empty arena shows?
Well, there's a lot of people that are canceling. CMLL just canceled one. Lucha Libre, they postponed Rey de Reyes 2020.
Oh, that was their big show, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But these are not they're not major league companies, but they're the major independent companies.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like the higher tier of the independents.
So they're ones with shows that would be more than.
Right.
I get. We keep saying 250 people, but that's a Michigan thing.
Yeah, but
it's
these are
still-
shows that draw 1,000 people.
Yeah,
you know what I
that
mean.
still
Like
are
that's
affected
like
by
top
this.
tier for an independent show.
And if you're drawing 1,000 people with your crew, again, you're above that 1,000 person.
Right.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's really tough. So we'll do this, and then we'll go to talk about the future of WrestleMania, possibly. Cheers.
Getting yelled at currently.
for
Why?
doing shots of the show.
Yep.
Sorry, Tracy.
I tried.
Then she sent the laughing emoji.
I like how she's watching. I wish
Yeah, that's cool.
I wish she would bitch at you in the comments.
I would get in trouble too.
I think that would be way better.
I would get in trouble too if my significant other, watched our show.
Tracy actually loves you.
See, we can say stuff like that. I'm
What
not
happens when you
get
married?
Now my phone's gonna blow up. Thanks, Mikey.
What? She put a kissing face into the comments. Did you just eat her with some fava beans and a nice Chianti? Oh.
Well,
Show took a turn.
Yeah, what route? 69. Anyway. God damn it, Nick, you're in so much trouble.
all right, cool, Nick.
Points.
Come to the parade with me. You don't have to go
What
home.
parade?
Come to the not parade with me.
It's if WrestleMania postpones, is it still, Nick, we'll start with you. Do you think it'll still be the grand spectacle it was supposed to be if the original show, or is it going to be something toned down because you're just getting what you can get?
Man, it's a tough question.
I know, that's why I asked it.
I think
Easy answer.
Well, I think it'll still be the grand spectacle it is, because not only have people been waiting for it, period, aside from the virus, whatever, but for somebody like me, I like the anticipation. I like the buildup of things, and I like wondering what's going to happen. And by the time it finally does happen, I think WWE, I hope WWE would come through and give you something that's been worth the wait. Mm-hmm. So I think it will still be the grand spectacle it is. Definitely.
Do you think they'd still, do you think they'll still try and do it in Tampa, or do you think they'll move somewhere else?
I mean, that's more of a scheduling question. That's what dates does that stadium have open?
I hear Ford Field has no professional sports going on for the foreseeable future,
Sweet.
at least till 2025.
Okay, cool. So there's that.
Unless XFL
No, but
gets
I'm
a
just
team.
saying, like, as far as having it in Tampa, it's a scheduling thing with the stadium. So I don't know if they can find an open spot. Why not? Because Tampa is the one who won the bid for WrestleMania. So it sucks for Tampa as well, because now
Yeah,
you're
'cause it's a
losing in
huge hit on the economy.
It's like holding the Super Bowl in a city. So I mean, you're missing out on a week full of tourism money at the very least.
Right.
Back to your other question, will it still be a spectacle? Well, yeah, it's WrestleMania. I don't think Vince will ever water it down.
Okay.
Minus like
do
WrestleMania
you think
13.
it'll? Okay, so spectacle for sure. Same size stadium arena, or do you think? And that's
again,
really what I'm getting at. Is
I
it's
think
more
it's
of
going to be what I can get when I can get it. It's going to be the biggest possible option they can get.
You know what I'd love, and this is just me being selfish as fuck.
WrestleMania 2, where they have it in 3 different arenas.
No.
Okay, cool. Because I didn't like that.
That was weird.
The big house.
Dude.
Let's say you have to push Mania back till June or July. The big house is now officially an open stadium, but in warmer Michigan weather. And then on top of that, if you fill that bitch, you break your own WrestleMania attendance record.
Well, if you fill it with
Because the big house holds like 100,000 people now.
in seats,
In
like we're not
seats.
even talking
Yeah,
like
then
20 by 20.
everything
Oh yeah,
on the fucking floor on the.
easily 200,000 people.
I'm not gonna say 200,000.
Think about
Dude,
it.
it holds like 110 in seats.
That's
which
my
means you're-
point. But you have the football field, which is
That's not 100,000 seats.
But then there's the stage and, all that.
standing
so you're
room
gonna,
only.
You're gonna
Like
eliminate some
you're
seats.
that you. I mean, what
I think you could hit 130,
130,
140.
140.
Because you got to remember, you're also got to cut off some of those seats for whatever size stage you have going on. And if it's not too high, then you can at least have the stage, like the top seats.
No, you don't use the scoreboard as the video, and you have it right in the center. Use the tunnels as the entranceway. That way you can utilize every seat in the fucking house.
Yeah, fuck it. Have a raw size stage and just pack that place.
Dude, I think you you still put it in the big house. You're breaking your attendance.
175,000 people.
That'd be crazy.
Could you imagine that? The big house hosting WrestleMania. I'd go. And that'd be my first event at the big house.
The only problem
I would
is
go.
the Ann Arbor, I don't think could handle that many people. It's so small.
Yeah, but I think if they knew that was coming for a couple months.
You literally have to park in Ypsilanti in Uber to the big house.
No, sir. There is now hourly bus service beginning from downtown Detroit to Ann Arbor.
I retract my statement. Really?
Yeah, that's dead serious. Yeah. Giving you a little bit of news here. I'm breaking down the ring. Local Michigan news.
Makes even more sense. And then we could have NXT TakeOver at Ford Field, smaller venue.
Yeah.
A little bit smaller.
I was thinking where Michigan plays basketball.
Oh, the Breslin Center? Okay, maybe.
Chrysler.
Yeah, Chrysler, because Breslin Center is the hockey arena. Either way, smaller.
That's maybe a little bit too small because that's like a 5,000, 6,000. We'd want like a 10,000, something like that. Something that AEW thought they could fill in the beginning, in month 4. I love AEW. I'll take a pot shot every time I can. Like SmackDown had better attendance record than Vegas. Just sorry, love you guys. Again, we really do love AEW, man. It's like Nick and I were talking about it before we came on. We thought AEW was spectacular this week, really fucking good. It was a great show, top to bottom. I even think maybe better than NXT. And NXT again was Performance Center and had a couple matches and stuff, but still, if you're gonna ask me which one was better, I still thought AEW. But again, I'm gonna take shots when I take shots. That's what I do.
Is that every week though?
No,
Or just this
no,
week?
but I mean, I'd say it's more 50-50 now than it was the first couple months of AEW.
It's trending up,
Yeah,
for sure.
It used to be NXT, AEW, NXT, AEW. Now it's like, it's flip flops.
I think they're all equal. I don't watch any of them, so they're all equal.
They're all the same to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's amazing how the coronavirus even just kind of killed the show. I'll be very honest, because I had so much I wanted to talk about, but it's all kind of all this shit
Up
is
in the air, like, we don't know.
I would love
Yeah.
to say, hey, we're gonna talk about, I know they're still trying to go on with blood and guts and everything like that. AEW is, and I know the NWA Crockett Cup is coming up, but again, what the fuck, man? Like, is the Crockett Cup gonna happen? Because the Crockett Cup's supposed to be around the same time that Mania is, but the week after.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
the week after in Atlanta.
But all right. So
I
here's
got a nice one.
here's my thought. If this pandemic continues, we're talking weeks, months, whatever, do we start getting pre-tape shows from everybody? Like matches, like live show matches that have been recorded but nobody's ever seen before? Like, do we start like putting it? You know what I mean,
Yeah.
though. Like, start doing like, okay, here's a match from like we do dark matches before and after. Like AEW has AEW Dark, and they have probably a whole list of like pre-recorded shit.
No, all of it's been shown on the AEW Dark channel.
Okay, but I'm just saying there's probably, I mean, WWE always has like shit that hasn't been on TV. So do we start like shuffling these in to kind of fill time? Kind of like, oh, never before seen match, and we know it's phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be showing it if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But and the reason they showed the Elimination Chamber tag match is how good it was. Like you got to see the Lindsay Dorado spot again. Like that was probably the best spot. I'm not gonna say. I mean, it's hard to say that wasn't the best match of the night, but by far the best spot of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, and I wish I even had like. If it was me, if this was my if let's say let's obviously we'll just talk about the mecca of it all, WWE. If I was running WWE, I would try and put on as much live shows as possible, rather than subject it to pre-recorded stuff. As
but
a
if
bartender,
it goes long enough,
right,
you almost have to,
depending
right?
on what you have. As a bartender, I know that I'm going to go to work every time I'm scheduled, as long as I can work.
Makes sense, right?
And that's a passion of, I like money. I love being able to provide for my daughter. I love where I live.
Like entertaining
yeah.
people too. You know, yeah.
So that's me. So then you have to think about the passion a pro wrestler has to be able to run the WWE schedule on normal, right? So you have to have like such a passion for the business to where you're working 300 days a year, barely being at home. Now, this changes it because a lot of it is you're at home. And then you'll have a Raw. Because if you're canceling all your live events, because WWE did cancel the ones that they had in Ohio and stuff, so you can't go. So what do? You go home.
Right.
And you're chilling at home, so you're having more of a break now. But if you're able to travel, if you're able to get there, if WWE is like, hey, we'll put you in a hotel down here or stay with whomever, and we're doing these from the Performance Center, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, are you willing to do it? And I would say, fuck yeah. So as long as the talent is able to, I think what stops WWE, what would stop an AEW, what would stop an NWA, what would stop a Ring of Honor,
confirmed
somebody
case
in that company catching the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I make a lot of jokes about this.
We all do.
But in reality, if you do continue with live shows, if WrestleMania does go on, you got to keep Roman Reigns away from it, right? Like he's in remission from cancer,
he's
so
a
he's got a
high-risk
weakened
patient,
a weakened immune system, right? Like he's literally like susceptible to this particular virus, where a normal, not saying he's not healthy, but he has a weakened immune system from
And he can't-
2 fights with leukemia.
And it can't be your champion.
Right.
But you see where I'm going
I get what
with
you're
this,
saying,
right?
yeah.
Like, I know I make jokes that it wasn't real, whatever, but when
No,
it comes
we
down
all
to it, in reality, like he did go through remission and he did go through chemo treatment or maybe not chemo, but some kind of treatment. So he's more susceptible to catching it and getting really fucking sick from it than a normal healthy person who hasn't
Than
been
us.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You can't put Roman Reigns in a situation like that. If somebody in WWE is confirmed, let's say it's someone on Raw, right? Automatically, he's a little safer, but it's not like the production crews change, as far as I know.
I think they're 2 separate.
Really?
They have to be. One's like USA, one's Fox.
Yeah, but they're still the WWE entity. So I would think that the people who are putting the television...
When we originally talked about this, I think like when they did the draft and when Fox USA, I think they have 2 different crews because that makes it feel like 2 different shows. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think Kevin Dunn still runs both.
I'm pretty sure they still have one guy in charge of both, but I don't think it's the same people on both production.
Same camera. You know what? We'll have to pay
Because Raw still runs live events while SmackDown's going on, so you're going to have a lot of the Raw crew. You're going to have a Raw crew and a
but not
SmackDown
to
crew. But then your television crew, you probably have the same 5 people that
That's
do
what
both.
I was like. Yeah, but so if someone from Raw gets it, there's still people that are traveling to SmackDown that could distribute it. Like the huge thing in Michigan is the Utah Jazz played the Detroit Pistons the Saturday before the first 2 coronavirus outbreaks, confirmed cases were given in Michigan, and they were given Tuesday night. And it wasn't from anyone from the Pistons area. It was just a person traveling internationally and another person traveling domestically. But the Utah Jazz player was in Little Caesars Arena that Saturday. The 100 fans that were there as well for the Pistons game. Shit talking, obviously. The couple thousand fans
The Pistons have been having empty arena matches forever.
Right. So have the Wings. All the fans that were in the LCA were exposed to it because it stays in the air for 3 hours. And then those fans that went from LCA to bars afterwards could have carried it with them as well.
Oh, now there's a confirmed Piston with it.
Is there?
Yeah, they on the news, I think it was Friday, they said that all the Pistons were tested, none of them were confirmed. That was bullshit because today they said there's one. I don't remember their name. Sorry, I don't have that, but there is a Pistons player that has it.
Again, this is something that can be dormant in your system. Like these people that are getting tested that
Christian
have
Wood
it could have had it for years. They're just confirmed to have it. Like it's like any other virus. You could have it right now, but it's dormant in your system. Like you're immune to it. You have it. You're not contagious, but you do have it. You know? Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't look like you do.
Because it's a new strand. That's why it's
new. It's a new strand they just found, but it doesn't mean that you're not a carrier. It doesn't mean that it hasn't been around. They just discovered it. You understand what I'm saying? To an extent?
No.
Well, and you don't have to show symptoms, you know? I'm not going to lie, I was a little concerned because the fact that one of these first confirmed cases was in Oakland County, and, you know, I took my daughter to NXT last weekend, which was in Oakland County at the Royal Oak Music Theater. So I'm like, well, what if this person was at the Royal Oak Music Theater within the last 24 hours, or what if they were there? Or, you know, the chances are pretty slim, but, you know, it wasn't something that, it's not like that didn't cross my mind. But, you know, yeah, I mean, like we said before the show, I could have had it, and it could have passed through me, and I would have never known it because you don't have to show symptoms.
right.
And and like we were talking about, it takes up to 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, it could sit in your system for 5 to 14 days before something happens. Yeah.
I mean, you could have herpes your whole life. You could be a carrier of herpes. No, this is for real. You could be a carrier of herpes your whole life and never, spread it to anybody, but you have that virus inside of you.
Inventory.
Yeah, because you can catch it from birth if your parent had it or something,
Yeah, and it could lay dormant in your system, and then randomly, you're 45 years old or whatever, and you have a flare up, and you've been safe.
Where the fuck does this come from?
Right. I'm just, there's.
You bitch.
Everybody's different. Everybody's genetic makeup is different. Right. The way they handle shit, whether stress, sickness, all that shit is completely different from one person to another. Yep. So it sucks because it just sucks because this is coming to our attention now, whether it's been around a while or just now, but and we don't have a answer for it. And if it does take over the U.S., worst case scenario, everybody gets sick at the same time and there's not enough hospital beds.
So, we're going to stop now. Just because we're now
sick of sickness.
There's so many what ifs.
Right. Yeah, and we're kind of starting to go around in circles.
And like I said, I can't wait till next week's show because then we can actually talk about WrestleMania actually being canceled, shit like that.
We really appreciate you guys sticking around, everyone that was listening, everyone that's watching. We really appreciate it because, again, man, you're in the exact same situation as we are right now. We don't fucking know. You don't fucking know. But we appreciate the fact that you let us kick around some conversation about it for a little bit. Nick, I believe your belt's in my car. You are the brand new Ring Crew champion. You took it over when you beat Z.
I had you until the last match. You overtook me.
It was close.
The match before last, you were up on me by a point. And then they showed Becky Lynch on the screen, and I knew it was all over.
That's Becky Lynch.
Literally what happened, too, because we had a lot of the same picks for that women's chamber.
Uh-huh.
But it was the special guest that
Smitty
really
still
ran away with
has
it.
never physically
Touched the belt in 2020, and that's all that fucking
Or
matters.
2019. What's really funny is Smitty has the 2 shortest reigns as Ring Crew champion. There was the couple minutes before Z took it back with a Money in the Bank cash in. And now there's 6 days. Nick hit 133 on the Pro Wrestling Scorecard for the Elimination Chamber. Z got 126, Smitty 121, and me 114. Now, we were talking about bringing back Tracy celebrating the fact that we're getting off. And
Where's the crop top?
It wasn't mine. I switched shirts with the girl.
Well,
I
should
took a
have
photo
been.
with. She was wearing my Darth Vader green shirt, and I wore her fucking crop top. I look good.
It was good.
We were kicking around the idea of bringing back punishments with all the WrestleMania stuff. That's severely up in the air now. But I will
New
say...
punishment. Let me cough in your mouth.
Oh.
All right, let's get this over with.
We're looking back to bring back punishments real soon. Get some stuff on our YouTube, especially since now that YouTube is stopping live stuff.
Really?
None of our live videos, I didn't realize it until last week, none of our live videos have gone to YouTube anymore. It still says it's open.
YouTube glitch or something? Or?
I don't know. So we'll try and figure it out. But get some content, have some fun, because that was fun. The last real punishment we did was Z and Smitty dressing up in dresses.
Yeah.
That was a while ago. Been a while.
Yep, it's been a while.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Make sure you go to breakingdownthering.com. You can find all of our social medias. Get yourself some official merchandise, including our brand new hats. We are your Ring Crew.
Z9, not the science guy.
Sick Nick, and don't forget about the Breaking Down the Ring, masks too. They're on our website.
And me, the all sneezy one, Mikey himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out.
The all sneezy.